Goes. Good evening, everybody. Hopefully, we had a great day today. Today is Tuesday. I think it's the 3rd. Yes, Tuesday, December 3rd, 8 p.m. We'll be asking you a question in 1 hour. We're going to kind of wait for the room to fill up a little bit. I cannot tell who is actually in here. Let me open something here. I'm gonna get where are we at here? Why can I not just get a link? This is so weird sometimes the way these stupid things work. Anywho, let's see here. If you guys can give me a sound check or a 5x5, something like that in the chat, it would be super duper appreciated. And then we can start to move forward there. Harry's here. Hey, I'm here. Okay, so basically a light raider first, Pastor Reality number 2. West Virginia Pappy, you are deterred. We got Roses in here, Bradley's in here, Preston, where are we at? Rose, Deanna, JB the 25th, 5x5. Everything is super duper pooper scooper. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna sip a little bit of my what is this? It's not chamomile tea. It's the same tea I have every night. I can't remember the damn name of it. I think I'm losing my freaking mind. Ian just showed up. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. All right, guys. So for those of you that are new to the channel, the way we do this is I talk about some stuff, you write about some stuff, and I talk about the stuff that you wrote. We're going to talk about Kamala Mia. Kamala. It's Mala meal tea. No, it's not. It's not that. It's chai tea. It's chai tea with cinnamon in it. It keeps my outer exterior from being extremely hard. Oh, damn, no aliens today. Not that we know of. There were a lot of pictures taken from the International Space Station today, but none of them show any aliens like shooting laser beams down on things. Most of the attacks today came from the left. Okay, so I'm not sure how many people. If somebody could let me know how many people we've got in the chat, that would be great. Deanna, 1973. Good evening. Lazy's in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, Preston, I was wait, but I was so cloudy. The cinnamon's good for your heart. Yep. Well, it's not Starbucks, at least. Yes, exactly. I don't drink Starbucks. I don't. I avoid I won't even buy Starbucks coffee beans. I'm just like, no. There's just no way to do this. It's ever since they treated the military badly during Desert Storm. Well, I won't touch it. I won't touch it. I think I went in there one time and I was looking for like a small iced coffee with nothing in it, just the coffee and the ice was like $6, and I was like, no. No, thank you. She poured it, she capped it. It's fresh brewed. And then she went to the register and pushed a couple of buttons and she said 624. And I said, no, thank you. And I walked out. Okay, so looks like the chat is filling up nicely. I guess let's go ahead and push this button and let's talk about some things. And what's this? What's going on here? Democratic senators urge Biden to try to limit Trump's ability to use. I need to move this microphone over here. There we go. Ability to use the military domestically. What does that mean? Trump could reverse a policy directive from Biden after he takes office, but Senator Elizabeth Warren and Richard Blumenthal are trying to highlight the issue. In a nutshell, we've got a couple of senators up there that are running their sucks. So, two Democratic senators are urging the Biden administration to issue a policy directive that could temporarily limit President-elect Donald Trump's ability to deploy U.S. military troops domestically after he takes office. Interesting. Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts. Of course, she's got a big D next to her name. She likes the big D. And Richard Blumenthal, I heard he likes the big D too, from Connecticut. Both members of the Armed Services Committee sent a letter dated November 26 to President Joe Biden and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin that urged them to issue a policy directive that would ensure that the U.S. troops can only be used when local and state authorities ask for federal help or are unwilling to protect the public. Interesting. We write to urge you, or quote, we write to urge you to issue a policy directive that prohibits the militarization of active duty military or federalizing National Guard personnel to be deployed against their fellow Americans unless specifically authorized. Oh, you mean by the president? You mean by the sitting president who's going to take over around noon on January the 20th of 2025? Oh, you mean that guy? Is that the guy you're talking about? I think that's the guy you're talking about. This is all bluster. This is 100% complete bluster. The second he becomes the commander in chief, he literally just says, "I'm issuing a verbal order. Listen to me now, Secretary of Defense. You are now to do this, 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 and this. This is a lawful order. Execute." He doesn't have to put it in writing. He doesn't have to say anything. The commander in chief will have spoken. It's that easy. Get out of there. I don't know what you think you're doing. Cats are cats are such freeloaders. Anyway, so let's see here. Pastor says, can the president use the military domestically without declaring martial law? In certain circumstances, yes. In the same way that they were activated for the actual election day last year. You remember they put the giant, or not 2 years ago. Remember they put the giant fence around. They had National Guard guys in there forever. They federalized the troops, and they can actually use national or active duty assets in certain situations. Now, if he declared martial law, that would give him full authority to use the military on U.S. soil for whatever means are necessary. Um, let's see here. Harry says the military has been used domestically for decades. Yes, that is true to an extent. To an extent, a perfect, for instance, of that would be the use of the U.S. military during that thing that we cannot speak of, the China virus, and how we were able to move military assets into New York City so rapidly. Um, they used them during Waco. Yes, there were some. There were some that got used during Waco. That was in a very particular situation. But that actually fell under a different law. But yes, Harry, you are correct. They did have some military assets that were used in Waco. So more Democrat blustering more than anything else. Let's see here. One of the things that it keeps coming up is this article, because apparently they did it again. But I wanted to bring it to your attention. This article right here is actually from where are we at here? August of 2020. So Democrats' war game for election includes West Coast secession, possible civil war. This is actually gaining some traction. It's gaining some traction because this whole wargaming thing, where they're trying to like talk about secession and what it could cause and things of that nature. You've got a bunch of people. There were people even talking about it in this morning's live stream. What's up, Catitude? Good to see you. Uh, USMC during postal robbery. Yeah, that's right. The U.S. Marine Corps used to guard the U.S. Postal Service. Um, but the words are the same, but the actions are a little different. So you've got Democrats are contemplating secession, and political civil war as they game out possible scenarios for closely contested elections, according to the report by Ben Smith in New York Times column. Now, remember, once again, this is from August of 2020 when they were just trying to figure out what they were going to do. If they felt as if they were going to lose, they were going to try and get the governor and all of the state senators to vote for secession. Now, we do have a crazy woman. I think she's up in Massachusetts. I'm not exactly sure. If you guys have done any reading on it, please put whatever state she's in. It's either Maine or Massachusetts or Connecticut or something like that. She's a state senator, and she is basically telling Canada, hey, we basically have the same ideas about things. And what, hey, you know what? We could just become like a Canadian province. We could be, we could all just like, I mean, we all have the same, we all believe the same stupid things. So, and our values kind of align. So maybe we should just secede. And I try to make it pretty clear that we're not just going to give up our national assets that are in that area because some some very unattractive person who with a huge smile on her face because she forgot to take her Prozac, is in an elected position of power, and she somehow believes that her voice carries weight. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see here. You guys aren't really talking, so this could be a short live stream. I do have things set up for us, but I don't know that I have enough to talk for an entire hour without your help. So your curse, get your keisters in gear, man. All right. What is it? Why can I not see that? That is so weird. Let's drag that down there. This little bitty screen I'm playing with. All right, so what do we got here? Let's hit you with a little bit of crazy news. A little bit of crazy news. This one picked up. Um, I'm showing this to you now because it actually happened yesterday. But I have another story right behind it that is going to be like, what? So in this one right here, and there would obviously be more data underneath this, but I don't have myself signed in on this machine on X. But U.S. sends $725 million in arms to Ukraine amid policy shift fears. The Biden administration is preparing to send an additional 725 million in military aid to Ukraine, which includes counter-drone systems, anti-personnel landmines, and munitions for HIMARS. This action amidst a political debate about the type of military support, particularly regarding the use of long range ATACMS missiles, and reflects efforts to bolster Ukraine's defense capabilities before a potential change in U.S. administration policy. We talked about it yet during yesterday's live stream or evening live stream where. Um, the Secretary of State was told to pump as much money and weapons into Ukraine as possible before they all lose power. You know, um, and then to follow this up, so that's from yesterday. This is from 12 hours ago. The United States has announced a new military aid package for Ukraine amounting to 725 million. This package includes counter-drone systems, anti-personnel landmines, missiles, and ammunition aimed at supporting Ukraine's urgent battlefield needs amidst ongoing conflict. The aid reflects continued support from the U.S. and over 50 other nations, is stated by Secretary Antony Blinken. Well, isn't it special? Isn't it special when you can actually get, the Secretary of State to say what all is very specific and why they're doing it and so on and so forth. They all seem to. I don't know if you guys have picked this up or not, and that's one of the reasons I actually kind of started doing this evening news thing, is because what's happening is the left took a punch to the face that they'd never had before, and now they're recovering, and now they're doing everything in their power to try and make sure that their agenda is actively working up until and as far past January 20th as possible. And that means that they're going to fight everything tooth and nail. All right, let's see here. Hank says, "Go ahead and secede. All federal funds is immediately cut off." Listen. They talked about that, Harry. They talked about that. And Harry, I'll be honest with you. I don't recognize you. I apologize if you've been here for a while, but make sure you hit that subscribe button, bro. Um, the the we They talked about how they don't need the federal money, and I'm like, right. I don't think any state could get off of the federal dole unless they really put some effort into it. And we're going to talk about some of that butt pain that's required and how some of it's really not so bad. It's really not so bad. Cindy, good to see you. Been listening. I use the wire for factual news without interpretation. I prefer your perspective on applications of fact. Hey, I appreciate that, Cindy. I appreciate that. I use ground.news to find something in the middle, just articles that are extremely factual. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. If you have not, let me know in the chat and I will show you ground.news and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, let's see here. So I guess this pissed a few people off and no one cares. Trump eyes J6 pardons after Hunter Biden's clemency. Former President Donald Trump has suggested he might pardon individuals involved in the J6 Capitol riot if he returns to office, a statement coming in response to President Joe Biden's controversial pardon of his son, Hunter Biden. Biden. Trump's comments have reignited discussion on the House of presidential pardons, highlighting the ethical and legal implications of such decisions. The public reactions vary widely, with some supporters demanding immediate pardons for the J6 participants, while others criticize the political motivations behind these actions. Guys, I've got to say something about these people that have been arrested and held in this prison, in this political prison down in DC. Um, it it's unbelievable that something doesn't sound right. Hold on. Ugh. One of my cats likes to claw at the couch. The couch is being replaced, but that's neither here nor there. What I was saying about these people that are being illegally held for now over, oh Jesus, almost 4 years. Some of them have never seen trial. Some of them have never spoken to a lawyer or public defender. Yet they're being held as political prisoners because they had a cell phone and they were inside of a geo box and the feds came and gave them a visit. Yeah, I think it's sickening. I think that every person in the chain that was involved in their arrest, their detainment, them being held, giving the order for the arrest. Every single one of these people need to be arrested themselves and face charges for this kind of stuff. I mean, at the minimum, it's basically kidnapping. You know, you can't play around with the law and say that, oh, well, this would, you've got a certain amount of time. You either prove your facts, you either put him before a judge, you take him before a magistrate, you give him, his constitutional rights, or you shut up and you leave and you let him go. That is not what is happening to some of these people, and it's quite sickening. It's quite sickening. All right. Someone said, what do we got here? Cindy off says, put it out there for us, please. Yeah, no problem. Let's see. Let's go ahead and hit this button right here, and we're gonna switch over to here, and we're gonna go ground dot news, ground dot news. So we can literally take any subject, and what this website does is it combines everything. Okay. And so we can literally say, any subject we really want to type in there. Let's go with Hegseth. Let's go with Pete Hegseth. 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 Hopefully I spelled that right. All right. So Graham calls Hegseth very disturbing. Fox News ignores Pete Hegseth's misconduct. Hegseth faces growing scrutiny. And it just finds all these articles, right? And then you can click on one of these things, and it's not the article, it's a synopsis of the article, okay? So it'll tell you the major headlines for all of the things, but what you can do is you can actually read. So you've got the Hill, which is right dead center. You got the Washington Post on the left, and then you've got Washington Times and the D Nuz or whatever that is has written an article with the same headline over here. So you can actually like pick one right in the center. The Hill is going to be all factual. So you can actually go through all of these things. It's a great tool for seeing through all the stupidity as well as seeing what the left is running their suck about, because you can read their articles and it's all going to be, there's going to be like 1% facts and the rest is going to be emotional drivel. You know what I'm saying? So that's ground dot news. Ground dot news. All right, let's go ahead and turn that off. And let's see here. And we're going to find something we're going to move on to. All right, so I got something for you to watch. I thought you guys would find this pretty interesting. Hopefully it plays out okay. And yeah, we're going to do that. What do we got here? Factual news, put it out there. Lock all the Federal Reserve up and IRS up. While you're at it too. Yeah, I was wondering about something. I don't know because I'm not a lawyer, but just because just because Captain Blue Tie's little boy has been pardoned, uh, does that mean he doesn't have to pay the IRS $1.7 million in back taxes? We're talking about the most powerful debt collection organization on the planet. Does that mean he doesn't have to pay that $1.7 million back? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, guys, I got something to show you real quick here. I hope you enjoy it. Let's see here. I gotta make it bigger. That's what she said. Hopefully it's not too grainy for you, but we're gonna go for it. And I'm gonna push this button right here. And yeah, let's do this.
For the term doomsday preppers, you might think out of touch, conspiracy theorists. But more Americans are embracing the belief of being prepared more than ever.
As our Zach Summers reports, these aren't just disaster-obsessed people. They're your neighbors, too.
Who are preppers?
It looks like,
Well, I would say
I don't like the word prepper.
We'll get back to them in a moment. The dictionary defines a prepper as someone who gathers materials and makes plans in preparation for surviving a major disaster.
My name's Corey Hubbard. I'm co-owner of DEF CON Underground.
Corey and his Kansas City-based team have been building underground survival bunkers for the past 7 years.
A lot of people just have this feeling things are getting worse and eventually something's going to happen.
The DEF CON 5 is the company's most basic unit.
So you'd be almost 30 feet deep.
Made of steel, it has air and water filtration, a sink, stove, toilet, beds, and storage. A family of 3 can survive inside for up to 60 days. Corey says inquiries skyrocketed in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine.
Anytime Putin comes out and talks about a nuclear weapon or tries to, saber rattle or anything like that, we get an uptick.
The emails and calls have leveled off since, but Corey says those who are serious about buying, you would never know they were preppers.
These are just ordinary people.
Researchers found since 2017, the number of preppers in America has doubled to 20 million, and up to a quarter of them are people of color, many citing war, COVID-19, inflation, and political discourse as reasons to stock their homes with essentials like food, water, and other life-saving supplies. Preppers in the U.S. spend billions every year stockpiling everything from toilet paper to protective gear. Those we interviewed tell us being a prepper doesn't define them, and they believe there are more of them than what the data shows.
my name is George Holt, I'm co-owner of Riverside Survival.
George has been prepping for 12 years. He doesn't own a bunker, but his survival store north of the river has supplies you wouldn't find in most places, including dehydrated food that can last up to 25 years.
It's almost like having insurance.
The father of 2 lives by the tagline, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. It's self-reliance.
Just having the extra, so when it's needed, you don't have to run out for it and in an emergency or in a panic to get it when everybody else is panicking.
For 25-year-old William Gay, prepping is preparation.
But it's an understanding of how things work.
The accountant by day grew up scouting and camping. Being prepared was instilled in him.
I have the tools to do things that I anticipate should happen, might happen, could happen, and how to fix those things.
my name is Dawn Acosta.
Dawn Acosta says the pandemic and the 2020 protests were a turning point for her.
Seen things I've never seen happen in my life. Empty shelves, riots come to my city.
The 65-year-old retiree started prepping because she doesn't trust the future to be anything like the past. She says sustaining a strong community is most important.
get people around you that have diverse skills, that can help you, and, don't be afraid to stock up on things.
Back at DEFCON Underground, Corey believes bunkers could become more commonplace as a larger number of Americans start to embrace the prepper attitude.
I think you're going to start to see them incorporated into like newer construction homes. People just want to be a little more prepared than they were.
Zach Summers, KCTV 5 News.
Missing Cat's incredible journey brought strangers together in the most unexpected way. A cross-country trip, a repair shop,
There we go. Muted the mic. Yeah, that was a recent video that just came out last month, and it's very interesting to see those numbers. Great, we're on the news, Bradley says. I know, I figured it out, Ian. Thank you very much, bro. Hey, Bird Lady, good to see you, lady. Good to see you. Gnostics in the house. Lock all the Federal Reserves up, and IRS will fire it. Yeah. Attitude says, the years I've been following LP, no one's race has ever been brought up once. Unless you have a picture, no one has ever asked you asked, and do you know why? It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. I just don't care. I have a couple of Mexican granddaughters. I have a black. She's actually like Jamaican ancestry granddaughter. So I just don't care. I just don't care. Um, I could use one of those bunkers. Yeah, I think that it's like instead of have peppers don't have like a foot fetish or anything like that. They have like bunker fetishes. They just want a bunker. There's been many a times I've thought about building one myself. There's actually very simplistic ways of making that are actually pretty freaking smart. But the problem is that once you create something like that, you kind of like, yeah, do I really need it? Do I really want to spend my money on that? It's like I want it. It's like I want to have my cake and eat it too, kind of thing. Uh, I just want to have one to say I have one. Bird Lady says, I'm LP's sister and I'm black. Good for you, girl. Huh, all right. Okay, let's see here. So, with that, I wanted to bring something to you guys' attention. And this actually started back in last September. And if you know anything about the Swiss, oh my God. If you guys want to go down a rabbit hole of utter craziness that is the reality of this country, um, you know, the be a prepper the rest of their lives. Harry says, I volunteered in Western North Carolina for 5 days. Anyone who sees that will be a prepper the rest of their lives. Absolutely, Harry. Absolutely. It's a shame that we have to learn from those kind of things. Um, let's see here. Bradley says it was kind of nice. They brought community in the info with the prepper stuff. Exactly. They didn't like preppers are crazy. They didn't pull one of those because the thing is the math. Once they start to talk about like, oh, by the way, 25% of preppers aren't white dudes. They're like, oh well, that's excuse me, sir. That's significant. Yeah, it is. Duh, they're just people. Um, but the whole community thing definitely is kicking in. Gnostic says people are still surviving in areas hit by Helene. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. We did. It wasn't. Yeah, it was. It was like 2 days ago. We talked briefly about, and I'll be honest, I was a little pissed off about how they have acres and acres and acres of travel trailers, campers basically, that are sitting down in Florida doing nothing. They belong to the federal government and they're doing nothing. They're sitting there being mowed around, you know. But we do have people that are living in tents in Western North Carolina. It's absolutely sickening, you know. I got hit hard by Helene. Our lady says Hurricane Helene put my prepping into overdrive. I found so many grabs, 19 days without power and 63 days without internet. So that's where you went. I'm just glad you're okay. All right, so getting back on point, as usual, if you love your country, now is the time to put a number one in the chat. 3, 2, 1, America. There we go. We're gonna drink something hot. We're gonna talk some smack, and I'm gonna throw down some unbelievable information down to you so that you can understand what is going on. But before I do that, I'm going to pay some bills, guys. I can't talk. My apparently my I don't have apparently I don't appear in my own advertisements anymore, so I'm just going to configure on. I'm just going to carry on here. I don't know what the hell is going on with my software. Apparently I don't exist in this particular one, so I'm not even going to try and fix it right now. What I'm going to tell you is that Refuge Medical is the best medical supply company in the United States, possibly in the world. 100 plus lives saved so far. The everything is made in the United States. It's not cheap. And the tourniquets aren't El Cheapos. They're not going to break on you when you try to use them to save somebody's life. I've literally got to the point now where instead of buying training tourniquets, I just buy El Cheapo tourniquets, and we use those to train with. Because yeah, if you want to give me 4 or 5 tourniquets for $12, I'll take it. I'll definitely take it because I'm going to train some people how to use the damn things. Anywho, even though you can't see me, you should know I'm smiling because I'm an affiliate for them. And if you use the code PREPSTOCK, you will actually save 15%. There's a link in the description. Be adults, use your money as you see fit. I'm going to push the button and hopefully I appear on this screen. Oh, look, I'm still alive. How did that happen? Okay, let's see here. I want to show you something. Like I said, it was starting back in September. Please, let's see if this works. There we go. Back in September. And this is actually from Sweden or I'm sorry, Switzerland. And this is an article that was written into the National Defense Strategy. And Switzerland has reintegrates bunkers into the national defense strategy due to the Russo-Russian-Ukrainian war. Now, a couple of things you need to know about this particular scenario. Let me see if I can. It won't let me. It won't. There we go. Okay. So this is back from September. Okay. So, or actually September 2023. So this is not super news, but it's the only article I could talk about the reintegration process that would actually translate into English. So in a nutshell, what has happened is Sweden or I'm sorry, Switzerland, I keep saying Swedish, I don't know why. Switzerland has basically turned their bunker program on back now. Now, according to Swiss laws, Swiss law, they are required to have a bunker for every single citizen plus 10% in the country. There's supposed to be a spot for them, a bed for them to lay in, a seat for them to sit in, all in an underground place that is safe. That can have something really big, boom, boom, go off on the top of it, and they can walk away from it. And there are bunkers everywhere. Like I said, if you want to go down the rabbit hole, YouTube that stuff and see what happens. You will lose your freaking mind. How many bunkers? They're talking about over 300,000 bunkers inside the country of Switzerland. And so what they did, there was actually a law that said that any new construction was required to have any new construction. I think it was over 35 occupants. Um, they were required to have a bunker for all 35 people underneath the building. Also, there was a law that said that any new construction required that that new home have its own bunker underneath it. It is mind blowing. Now, most people had just been using them for storage space. But people are really starting to rethink it. And like I said, if you get some time later on and you want to go down that rabbit hole, it is absolutely mind blowing. It's beyond, you'll just start watching video after video after video on this, going, are you insane? This is crazy. But they take it very seriously. They take it very seriously. So, Gnostic said the U.S. has huge underground facilities as well. Not like this. Now, here's what I will tell you about the ones that, we've obviously seen the Walmart trucks driving into. If you guys remember those videos, these things do exist, but we keep them under wraps. We keep them under wraps, and the only people who actually know anything about it are the people that have been handpicked to go into them. It's just that easy. Let's see here. Rose says there are unnatural caves in the mountains. Cousins was reportedly to use it for cheese aging. I got you, Rose. I got you. But I found some stuff for you. I found some stuff for you. So let's take a look at this real quick. I'm not a fan of TikTok, but this video is kind of entertaining.
The threat of nuclear attack during the Cold War seriously and started providing bunker places for its citizens in case of an atomic attack. The country has over 7,000 sirens to warn the population in a range of emergency scenarios, including nuclear accidents, and these sirens are tested annually. When the general alarm signal sounds, people are instructed to turn on the radio and follow authorities' instructions. Depending on the situation, they may be advised to stay at home, close doors and windows, or go directly to a shelter. Potassium iodide tablets are distributed every 10 years to those living near nuclear plants as a precautionary measure against radioactive iodine. These tablets block the thyroid gland's uptake of radioactive substances. In the event of a nuclear incident requiring shelter use, municipalities and civil protection organizations have time to stock up shelters with food and water. Residents are advised to keep their own emergency supplies. Switzerland is unique in having enough nuclear fallout shelters to accommodate its entire population, as mandated by their constitution. Each inhabitant must have a protected place accessible from their residence, and apartment block owners must construct and equip shelters. The laws governing these measures are covered in Articles 45 and 46 of the Swiss Federal Law on Civil Protection. When new houses or apartments are built without bunkers, owners must contribute a tax to their community to secure a place in a civil defense shelter.
And that is just wild. Absolutely wild. Let's see here. Bradley says, what does a radio do if it's zapped by a nuclear strike EMP? Well, that's why you keep it in a Faraday bag. Hmm. Uh, if you can find enough people who were smart enough to put theirs in Faraday bags, you might be able to talk to them. Use old radios, ones with vacuum tubes. Okay, that's something, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so let's go and I wanted to show you one of these. This is a very quick video of exactly what I was talking about. Let's see here.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm out in the sun, I'm Adam.
We got enough
What I'm
sound.
gonna
I've
do
got it
today is
maxed
I'm going
out.
to show you a domestic nuclear bunker inside a modern house that was built in I suppose it would be the Cold War era. So inside this house, it's a standard 4-bedroom house built in the Cold War era. Downstairs, you've got a nuclear bunker, all built as standard. Even modern day properties now that are built still have them installed. Let's go take a look. So we take the main stairs down. Let's see if we can get balloons. Move balloons. Oh. Right, light. Right, down into the depths. Down one more flight of stairs. So, in modern day times, you can see that something like this might actually be quite fitting, and you could potentially use it soon. So. Here's the bunker door. It's all really thick, solid concrete. It's really deep into the ground. We're probably, 20 foot under the ground. So inside this door here, we've got a carbon filter as well, which filters the air. So you come in, you lock the door, so we'll open the door and turn the lights on. Inside, there used to be a mandatory thing in there that you have to have beds, you have to have rations, and you have to have water as standard in there all the time. But as time's gone on, it's been laxed. I think sometime this year they might have to have an inspection though on it. So at the moment it's being tidied up and then reorganised. But I'll bring you in, we'll have a little look. So you'd come into the bunker room. In here would be storage. So you'd have foods, waters and everything on here.
Yeah, he's not going to make it in time.
Over in the
My
corner here, we
interpretation so
have
far of what I'm seeing from these
filtration
newer
system.
videos of the
And the
bunkers
thing
in
is
Sweden
that's safe.
is that
What's
they
that next
are
to? Is that safe?
maintaining them because the
The
law
plate?
says that they
Oh,
have
so
to
this is to that
maintain them
area.
and
So
keep
it's a
them up to
big, thick,
service. Um,
concrete
but
steel
the
door. And then
they're
next to it's
doing
all the
what
air
they're
filters. It's
supposed to
all
be
massive
doing, but
carbon
they're just
filters which get
using
checked
these
every so often, not as
to
much as they
store
used to.
things. And
And then obviously you have
I get
beds
it
and
to
bits
an
and pieces
extent,
in, but this would supply
but
for the main
this
house,
is
whereas
a typical
a lot of the
example of what I
residents where you're
found so
living, you would
far
all have
to
to
where
come
it's
down and
completely
shelter
out of
here.
control.
And every one of the flats has one for each resident. So it's
The other
quite
side
a
of that
feat
is
of
what I've been seeing right now
engineering. I
is
don't think
that
I'd want to spend a couple
on
of
the
weeks
other
down
side of
there
that
with
coin
a
is
couple of
that
the
there are
family
these
without a
facilities that
toilet.
are completely empty.
And then you've got a couple
Um,
of other rooms which add on to it, which would be wash basin
there's
and
no
things. So I
beds,
suppose you
there's no
just
mattresses on the beds.
once it all settles, you just
Everything functions.
you
It
come
does
down and then
everything
you've
it's
got a bit more
supposed to do to be
storage here. You've got
protective,
a wash
but there's no
basin.
food, there's no water, there's
Then
no
you've got a bit
storage
more
of
storage
anything.
for food.
There's
You
no
can grab
preparation taking
other
place
bits and pieces
whatsoever
in here,
within these
but
bunkers.
it's not something I'd like to overly
Yeah,
experience.
that one they
However,
turned into a
I'm
laundry
showing
room
you guys
somehow.
what's down as a basement. None of the old buildings in Switzerland have it. It's only anything built in between the Soviet era, so the Cold War era. And you can see here, I mean, look at the thickness of that. I can only just move it. That would take at least two of you to pull that shut. Not very fitting, but.
All right, we're just going to go ahead and stop it right there because if not, we're going to be jumping into some other things that we don't really care about. All right, so going to the chat right now. Let's see. It makes. Come on, man, that's too much prepping. I need a bunker, not a Faraday cage. I know, right? Let's see here. It's not going to make it time. From what I've been told, they also make the kids in high school take a firearm safety course, which would be amazing to do here. Yeah, I think it's great. I remember when there were high schools that actually had shooting and marksmanship clubs. They actually competed. There still are marksmanship competitions for youth, basically like youth leagues, but none of it happens in school anymore. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let's see here. Rose says, since they have been militarily neutral, they need to prepare for what may come. Yeah, Rose, I would invite you to watch some of the videos on the bunker complexes that are both commissioned and decommissioned inside Sweden. They basically made a ring, okay, up in the Alps to protect. To base, it wasn't protecting anything. The mountainsides offered perfect cover to fire down on anybody trying to get anywhere near that part of the country. It's absolutely amazing. It's ginormous. Uh, they still maintain several of them. They still have like howitzers inside of them. And the idea is that if they think things are going to get bad, then they man them. But they actually have people who go around and maintain these facilities. There are lots of them that are they have buildings that they look like just a building, right? But like the shutters are painted on, and then a door pops out, and then there's a howitzer there, and it's actually a bunker painted to look like a house. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see here. Everyone in Switzerland has to serve in their defense ministry. I think that's great. I think that everybody should have to serve in the military. That they should go to college after they spend 4 to 6 years in the military. Um, Outdoor Alley, good to see you, bro. During a follow-up, that guy's gonna die fast, but at least he'll have clean clothes. Oh man, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay, let's see here. We're rolling up on 15 minutes, and I wanted to talk to you about something that is happening. If you guys don't know about this, um, South Korea is they've got some really weird stuff going on there. We talked about it briefly yesterday, or should I say last night, and South Korea is, it's like, well, just let me read this to you. So, it's absolutely insane. South Korea has plunged into a full-blown dystopian crisis. All right, now I need to preface what I'm about to read with the fact that this person, this Brian Aline, he's a mortgage banker featured in Yahoo Finance, MSNBC, and Business Insider. So he's a freaking lefty. All right. You can in his own words, you can feel it in his words. A dystopian crisis. The military is breaking into parliament, smashing windows, and attempting to storm the National Assembly. Oh, it's so scary. It's like J6. Oh my God. Why? Because parliament just voted unanimously to lift martial law, a desperate move to reclaim democracy, but the military isn't having it. They've openly threatened to suspend parliament if it causes social confusion. Let that sink in. A government trying to restore freedom is being silenced at gunpoint. This is the first martial law declaration since 1979, when preceded an infamous Guangzhou uprising. I don't even know if I said that right. President Young Suk Yeol's justification? He claims it is to stop anti-state forces, conveniently framing the opposition party as pro-North Korean leftists. This isn't about protecting the nation. It's about consolidating power. Martial law is being weaponized to suppress dissident and control the media. South Korea is standing on the edge of authoritarianism, and the world is watching. If it doesn't scream dystopia, I don't know what does. Yeah, this is the insanity. This is the insanity. So what we're looking at right there, those are Korean special forces that are actually breaking into their parliament. He's an observer. He didn't pass the PT test or something. Um, and basically, last night, our time, the president of Korea declared martial law. All hell broke loose, and droves of people showed up with flags to say this, that, or the other thing, and to protest for democracy. Oddly enough, the uh, the 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 parliament is primarily Democratic, hint, hint. So they basically took a vote. There's 300 people in their parliament. They had 190 people vote for them to turn off the martial law. And so the president, who doesn't agree with them whatsoever, said, "Okay, we're gonna turn it off." And so now there's no martial law in South Korea. So it's kind of confusing. It's like, why did this happen? I mean, who's lying here? Somebody's lying. This is like two kids, yeah, yelling at their parent, telling them that, no, he did it. No, he did it. It's all very confusing, but it's actually happening in South Korea. So I would take that with a grain of salt because someone's freaking lying. Someone is telling is telling the flat out lie, and I think eventually it'll come out. The parliament wants him to step down, the president to step down. The president's like, I'm not stepping down. Don't be stupid. Parliament's saying, oh well, we'll vote to impeach you. We can do that, and he's like, whatever, you know. So we'll see what happens because if they don't do it, then it's all about it's going to be all about the power struggle between the left and the right. This is very literally all they did was change this to tiny people who like "Yah, yah, 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 yah." You know what I'm saying, that that speak a different language in a different part of the world, who are now Democrats. That's what this whole thing is really about, and it's kind of disappointing. All right, and what I was telling you about Mr. Allen, Brian Allen, if you guys didn't know this, the breaking news tonight is that breaking. I have to read this to you because it tells you how these people think, and it's kind of ridiculous. So remember Brian Allen here, Mr. Brian Allen. He's a mortgage banker. He's been featured in Yahoo Finance, MSN, and Business Insider. He's so smart about these things, guys. Breaking: China's move to block exports of critical materials like gallium and germanium is a masterclass in strategic leverage, and it exposes the disastrous incompetence of Trump's trade policies. If you don't know this, we're talking about tariffs. For years, we've known China dominates these supply chains, producing over 90% globally. Yet Trump's America First rhetoric did nothing to address this vulnerability. His tariffs were all about optics, not substance, leaving the U.S. completely unprepared for this kind of economic warfare. Now, the very industries that drive innovation and national security, uh, semiconductors, defense, renewable energy are scrambling because Trump prioritized political theater over actual strategy. Oh my God, this is why I hate opinion. It's like, dude, you want to tell people the facts, just tell them the facts, let them make a decision. You have no responsibility to make them think a certain way. And if you do, that means that you're part of the problem. It means you're part of the problem. Now, I'm going to show you something. So I took what he posted here and I put it in the old Google, and this is what came up. So if you can go through this, China bans export. This is China blocks export. China uses economic leverage. China hits U.S. with ban on critical minerals. China bans export to U.S. gallium. China dials up U.S. trade tensions with tit for tat. China bans export, and you can see everybody is all of the lamestream media is towing the party line on this down to this lowest guy. They're all in on it. They're all in on it. Okay. But there's an interesting thing. Let me see if I can find it again. Um, let's see here. China bans exports, key high-tech trades would require exporters. We're still in it. We're still in it. We need something. Oh, this is it. Oh my God, look. July 2023. Why China's threat to ban critical minerals? Let's see. What does that say from 2023, right? Hopefully it'll let me read it. Weaponizing commodity in fashion. Let's look at the title. Why China's threat to ban critical minerals export is a bluff. Hmm. Embargoes have unintended consequences and would hurt China more than the West. Isn't that special? Do you think Captain Red Tie knows this already? Do you think he doesn't like have this common sense or actually have like an expert in economic policy and international trade like tucked right under here so that when he says, "Is it okay to say that to China?" Yeah, China, it's okay. Say it to China. Yeah. Okay. It's a joke. Okay. Chinese threats to clamp down on exports of critical raw materials have raised alarm bells in Western capitals, according to the USDA. Blah, 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 blah. How serious is the Chinese threat? Here, the Kremlin's decision to weaponize gas flow as instructive precedent. The Russians' embargo hold 5 lessons that should caution Chinese leaders against carrying out these threats. In sum, these lessons suggest that curbing commodity supplies curtailing inflicts short-term pain on Western economies, but comes with unintended consequences in the medium term. Lesson 1, a practice shock for critical raw materials could not necessarily be a bad thing. Oh no, what would happen? We would buy the stuff someplace else. Yeah, they make 90% of it, but I mean, we don't have to use it all, right? I was actually listening to Bloomberg Business about an hour ago, and they were like, and this was the Asian news. That's not me. That's the title of the segment. Okay, on Bloomberg. Um, and they literally said that all this is going to do is force the US to buy these minerals someplace else. They do exist. It will force us to mine for them. And oh, by the way, hint, hint, you're going to love this. People who dig these things up, people who buy them and sell them, saw this coming a year ago and already have them stockpiled, waiting for the US to go, "Oh, by the way, do you have it?" "Yeah, yes, we do." "Oh, we can do business." "Oh, we're friends." "Hi, how you doing?" Fuck you, China. That's what's going to happen. Excuse my French. God, I don't know what's going to happen to this video now, but that's what's going to happen. So all that banter, all that running the suck, all of these articles regurgitating the same thing over and over and over and over from every lamestream media uh, partner there is mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. So with that said, I'm going to go to the chat here real quick. Let's see here. Since they've been military neutral, Bradley says, I get going underground helps with radiation, but all that building on top of you means most likely just running to your grave. Um, no, actually, the bunkers are made to withstand that. It's part of their standard system. Everybody in Switzerland has to serve in the defense ministry. We got that. Let's see. That guy's gonna die fast. You guys can put shit in the chat. Thanks, I appreciate it. Um, watch Peter Z. He has a totally different opinion on this. I got you. Understanding, but they have held off no war activity in country for Swiss may have buttered both sides to keep it away. Oh no, they listen. So they started doing all this bunker stuff back in World War II, but they were also playing geopolitical games with the World War II Germany. They were moving money. They were playing nice with them. We are. We're not, we're in the middle. We're not going to fight with anybody and you just fight around us. But they also knew at some point that the Germans might decide, hey, you've got this very nice little pass that goes through the Alps that we'd really like to drive some troops through. And no, we have to stay neutral. We'd really like to do it. Let's start building bunkers, you know. And that's what happened. And then into the Cold War, they kept doing it. These people love to dig things in the ground for some reason. Let's see. Both are byproducts of other stuff and can be easily sourced from other areas. Exactly, Light Raider. Bradley says, good night. Time for my meeting with my pillow. Have a great night, y'all. You too, bro. All right. Looks like we've come to the end of this uh, this live stream. I want to thank you all, the 8 of you that are still here. I guess if my live streams aren't making people happy, this is just an experiment for this week. So we'll see what happens. I'm basically giving you 2 live streams and trying to pump out a video for you every day. So hopefully you're enjoying what I'm doing. Let's see here. True, some made money, but the people stayed safe from the war. Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and cut it for now. We're moving up on 9 p.m. I want to say thanks for hanging out with me. I shall see you tomorrow morning. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's see. I don't know if I can get there from here. Tomorrow's live stream. Where are we at here? I don't think this will end my live stream. There's it at. I need to get a shareable link. There it is right there. Tomorrow's live stream. Here's the link for tomorrow's live stream. Hopefully, I will see you guys at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And as usual, hit the thumbs up on the way out the door. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Check your bell. And as usual, stay safe. Have a great night, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye-bye.
It's 9 p.m. Do you know where your children are?